Recently I've moved houses, and by recently I mean a few months ago, yet I haven't been able to really accept this. As I've unpacked boxes lining my new wardrobe and clothes still in bags within my old room, I guess through this way my fear of change has taken its physical form. My walls are glaringly bare and my mattress still sits on the floor. I've just decided to unpack my books and order them in the specific way I always like them to be in, and maybe I vary in the spectrum a little, but the way in which I organize my books don't fill that case in my brain anymore. Maybe it's the fact that my shelf is completely different, or they seem too high, or that my bed isn't situated right under the literary figures I praised. Whatever it is, it's not the same. Whenever I wake up in the morning, the sunlight doesn't come pouring through my window panes as it once did, laying gently upon my skin, nudging me to wake up. Instead, I get no sunlight and wake up with cold fucking feet. The posters that once littered my walls have become foreign to this territory. They lay in a heap in some landfill, and I guess I try to act like a decision of my dad throwing them all at means nothing to me. But in fact, they all mean everything to me. Those faces of people I no longer keep in my life, the notes that were passed around in a classroom I will never step foot in again, the litter of old feelings that I look back at and cringe, a gum wrapper that was given to me by my year 10 crush. These objects of the past have kept me comfortable, reminiscent in a way. I'm afraid that I'll forget Mr. Parsons' signature, or what me and Lexi looked like when we were 12, or Eddie's handwriting and the people I met at her formal that in a few days may fade from my memory. Maybe I'll forget who the Smiths are, what David Bowie looked like, or even my obsession with my Tyler the Creator shrine. In the physical absence of these, I feel obsolete. Who am I without the past, right? I've always had attachment issues, reflected in the years I spent too long with someone who made me hate myself in a way I still keep a piece of Xavier's skateboard with me from the first time we met. Him with the side part and chapped lips, and me just figuring out how to live. But attachment has become redundant to me as suddenly I'm 3 feet away from my own hands, and the thought of my CDs being missing no longer bothers me. And the fear that once consumed me whole, like I were a pill to be swallowed, of becoming detached from my attachment has been painted over. In a literal sense. I'm in the process of painting my old house. Before this wall was littered in posters. It was often an eyesore to look at my collection of memorabilia, but it kept me secure. I felt safe under the blanket of dust that was all collecting. It became too hard to part that I instead got someone else to take it all down for me, and once I felt brave enough to be able to paint over the years of writing on my walls, someone had already done it for me. And as I sit here, painting, my shitty poetry, notes from friends, quotes from books that I wrote on my wall because I was too lazy to find paper, I realize they'll always still be there. Under all these layers of paint, it will all still exist. Something doesn't have to be present to have meaning. And I guess only through this physical act of moving and changing have I really known it. In my life, I've kind of personified change in a way. It's October as I write this, and it's a time of the year where the big wave of change visits and crashes on everything loved and familiar. In these past 2 years of my life, change has made herself familiar in my shelf and in my writings, and as I become older, lose more friends and not immediately replace them with new ones, I've begun to look forward to her arrival. I guess in growing up I've learned to become more boring? more forgetful? I don't know. More accepting, I guess. And no one lives in that old house yet, but once they do, I'll have to start this whole acceptance journey all over again, but that's the point of life. It's all one big fucking cycle. Now can someone help me finally unpack my boxes?